This is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome, welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. Andy, how are you?
I'm feeling froggy, JJ. How are you?
You're feeling froggy?
I'm feeling froggy.
Like French?
Froggy doggy.
Oh boy. Well, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm wired.
Yeah?
I'm wired.
What?
I'm up.
While you're up there, tell us about the rules.
The rules we have.
For the sake of civility and discourse.
For the sake of civility, keeping it civil. No judgment, nothing personal, and please don't be a dick. Okay? That guy's not a dick.
That's like
He's a squeak toy.
That's the movie clicker, you know? Give us the time stamp.
Oh, boy. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk
about? What do you want to talk about?
There was something I wanted to talk about a while back, and we kind of just got diverted from it.
What do you want to talk about? Oh,
this
feels heavy.
It may get
Shit.
there. I think we're pretty good at this.
Okay.
So you and I have gotten better in recent weeks at having the civil discourse about things we disagree on.
Yeah.
Finding the topics of conversation that we don't necessarily agree on and exploring it and talking civilly about it. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest hot button things going on right now that everybody seems to be avoiding, okay, that I have wanted your on-air opinion of.
All right, my butthole is clenched. Just go.
We have not discussed on the podcast politics at length.
We have not discussed politics
and we are going to civilly discuss it now.
I will tell you.
Mm-hmm. Disclaimer.
Mm-hmm. Again, I want the rules kept in mind. Mm-hmm. All three of them. Particularly no judgment. Mm-hmm. And don't be a dick.
Okay. Fair enough.
I want those rules kept in mind because, again, we're married and we do have to live together after this podcast.
And we do just fine.
Well, okay. All right. So what is there something specifically that you want to talk about, or you want to talk vaguely? You want to start out vague and get specific?
We can get specific.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say most everyone who knows me knows where I stand, who I support, all that stuff.
I think they have an idea. They probably have more of a preconceived notion than anything else, honestly. Speaking as someone who knows you.
You surprised me when you started talking about RFK. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about the guy. I've seen a lot of his interviews.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of what he's had to say.
Have you seen him cook for his dogs?
Yes, I did see that video. That was adorable.
I love that man. I think he's great.
We don't have to get heated.
No.
I've gotten heated with people. I've seen people get it. We don't have to, because we're realists.
Yes.
We understand that the world is going to go on regardless of who gets in.
Yes.
I've told people a million times over, I don't fucking care who wins because I'm going to learn to live with whatever the decision is.
And that's the truth.
I've lived through Bush, Clinton, a little bit of Reagan, the other Bush, Obama.
It wears me out when I think about the fact that I lived through Reagan. I mean, I was a bébé, so I don't remember it. But
I caught his last year.
But I find it funny that I'm like, oh, I was actually alive for Reagan. But I was a bébé in the Reagan years.
In adulthood, okay,
Jelly Belly years.
I have had a lot of time to do my own research, form my own opinion.
Yes.
And regardless of what anyone believes, I see everything from both. Somebody once called me a centrist. I had to look that up.
Heaven forbid.
And it's really what I am.
It's like a swear word these days, though.
I lean right, yes, in a lot of ways, but I like to educate myself on everyone's stance.
I think that is extremely admirable, and I also try and do the same. I have a very open mind when it comes to people having their perspectives and their ideas of where they stand, particularly with ideology and anything that someone wants to believe. I personally don't care what people believe. I don't need to know what a person believes.
I told you last week that I was listening to Harris's latest interview.
Yeah.
And you said why? And I said because I want to know what she's going to say. I want to know what her policy, what she plans for her policies to be, how she plans to govern, who she's going to surround herself with. I want to learn about this person. Not that I'm going to vote for her, but I want to know who she is to make my own informed decision.
I specifically asked you why when you told me that, because I just presumed that you would be angry at the end of it. Now, that was a presumption, but was I right?
I wouldn't say angry, just flustered, flabbergasted, dumbfounded. Like, we all have to come to the realization at some point that the single person who wins the title of president
doesn't fucking matter.
It's not, they're not the deciding factor on everything that goes on in American politics.
They're not.
There's a team of people who discuss and debate and argue and
strategize. Don't forget the strategize part.
So it's really who they surround themselves with that makes the difference.
Yes.
I don't like her as a mouthpiece. I mean, I know Trump's been a loose cannon at times, but at the end of the day, I think we all want the same thing, and that's prosperity. We all want to be able to prosper. We all want to be able to be happy, healthy, and to live and to grow.
Yes.
I don't fucking care who sits in that seat as long as I'm going to get that. As long as I'm going to be able to provide for you and the kids, as long as I'm going to be able to make it to the next day above ground, Yeah. And I try to align myself with people I feel represent my values.
I try and align myself with people who don't insist that I align with their values.
Explain, please.
I have known plenty of people, especially in the last, this is 2024. So I'm going to say the last 20 years. I have been privy to a lot of people who insist that that certain aspects of your personal ideologies define you. And if you do not align yourself with their ideologies, that you are, if it's one of those, if you're not with me, you're against me kind of situations.
Now it is.
Yes, but it's been steadily growing for the last 2 decades to me.
Yeah, you're right.
That this is one of those things that it's like...
It's not the last election.
No,
like everybody
of course
says
not.
It is.
Everybody is under the impression that the world is going to come to an end, that the seas will boil and the skies will fall, and God knows what the fuck
Sensationalism at its
else.
finest.
And that's just it. Is at like... I have been privy to too many people who have insisted that you are not allowed. It is the equivalent of refusing to have an opinion, a refusal to believe in something, to take a stand. It's the idea that being a pacifist is unacceptable. If you do not staunchly align yourself with one idea, period, you have no opinion. In 2000, let's go back now, and I've told you this story. In 2004, 2004, W versus John Kerry, and I was up all night, not watching the election coverage. I was up all night. I was up all night working on a project for college, and I had the election coverage on, and like first thing in the morning, right before I went to bed, John Kerry conceded the election, and I later that day took to what was then social media. I took to LiveJournal. Yeah, ready? I went on LiveJournal and I posted a very brief post, and I said that I'm fucking tired. I've been up all night working, and but I did want to say that in the last moments of my consciousness, I I heard John Kerry's concession, and given what I believe is our current climate, I think that it was very noble of him to not drag this out. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very respectable of him to realize that this is not the time to drag something like this out. It's 2004. Mm-hmm. We're still in the midst of terrorism madness at this point. We are terrified.
You're talking about now.
In 2004, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We're still terrified of everything.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't know what we're doing. And a friend, no longer a friend, obviously, a friend commented on my post, ripping me the largest new asshole I never asked for, saying, what kind of stupid person am I to be okay with, first of all, with John Kerry not fighting for his votes in another obviously stolen election and all of this conspiratorial bullshit, and immediately blocked me on all communications. So that I could not even say, like, could you clarify? Can we have a conversation here or anything? Went out of his way to call me stupid and to tell me that this is not how the world works.
And in that moment, the keyboard warrior was born.
So I have been dealing with people like that. And the 2016 election sort of brought it right out of the fire, because it was one of those things that if you are not with me, you are against me. And it was on both sides. I'm sure we both know plenty of people who, especially between 2016 and 2020, just broke all contact with human beings because of who they voted for.
My girlfriend at the time, like in 2015, we were, I don't know if we were watching it or if we'd heard, like, something went off on social media or whatever, but we had got the news that Trump was he announced his campaign. And that was a bad night.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, he's actually doing it. And I had to hear about what a misogynist he was and all the other things, racist and everything else that they've accused him of and blah, 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 blah. I remember times in my life when I followed blindly.
Yeah. When
I followed based on what I was told, without doing my due diligence. I've since reformed myself to do my...
You do excessive due diligence.
Thank you.
You do.
Not even just when it comes to, the top levels of government.
Yeah.
This is the first time in my life, at least within the last, I'd say 4 years, that I have really looked into local as well, mm-hmm. and learned about the candidates and learned about what they stand for and who they surround themselves with, and what their policies are. Because it really is true what you hear from people. It's, if you want to change things at the top, you have to get invested in your community. Mm-hmm. And I used to love this community, but
until you realize the mayor doesn't pay his bills. That's a personal thing.
Yeah.
That's not a comment.
And the cops don't do their job either.
And the cops don't do their jobs, yeah. But yeah.
Not anymore. Like I've lived here long enough now to see how the town has changed, mm-hmm. to see how the county has changed, mm-hmm. to see how people and their opinions and their mannerisms and their attitudes have changed.
Yeah.
And it's all reflected off of the sensationalization of the media.
Yes. Yes. It is.
And it's really sad because we're all human beings, mm-hmm. yet we're all acting like animals.
Yes. Well, not all of us.
But a lot of people are.
Too many, I would say.
You and others have said to me, why do you watch listen to these podcasts? Why do you watch these news shows? Why do you, insist on making yourself angry and frustrated and upset? And I go, it's really just a means of staying informed and keeping up to date with what's going on in the world.
But it does piss you off.
Somebody once challenged me to find an unbiased news source. We had a long, lengthy conversation about that. And
Was it me?
No.
Oh.
But I remember that conversation, and I remember trying to think like, oh, so just, and they had, tore apart every answer I gave. I'm like, oh, now that I think about it, okay, all right. So, and I went down the list of all the legacy media and all the local stuff and everything, and I'm trying to think, is there really an unbiased news source out there? And the conclusion I came to is the answer is no.
No.
Everyone's biased to some degree.
The only news that has no opinion attached to it is the weather.
That's not true.
And that's not true because sometimes they say it's nice and it's not nice because people think 80 degrees is nice.
Now,
Weirdos.
That unfortunate, preconceived notion that you were talking about earlier, a lot of it came along with the business that we used to own.
Yes.
My family was in the firearm business for 8.5 years. Mm-hmm. And so automatically everybody thinks, oh, they're Republicans, they're right-wing extremists, they're, Christian nationalists and all this other shit, and
yes.
The funny thing is, I don't know if it was my dad or somebody else, but they said Obama was the best salesman we ever had. Because while Obama was in office, we did the best sales that we ever did. Because everybody was afraid they were going to lose their rights. So people came in droves and bought up gun after gun after gun after gun after gun, and we did good business. When Trump got into office, business tanked.
I have said on countless occasions that that guns are not the problem.
No, they're not.
They're not. And I know that no one wants to believe that, but the fact of the matter is that the problem this country has seen when it comes to gun violence, and particularly against children, is that the guns are not the problem.
I am a Sandy Hook native.
Yes.
A Sandy Hook Elementary School graduate. Mm-hmm. A Newtown High School graduate.
Yes. And
I have been a gun owner my entire life. Guns are not the problem.
Guns are not the problem. Guns are not the problem. Like, and that's just one issue on the table. But and everybody wants to now, like, we're combating gun rights with reproductive rights. Like, those are apples and oranges. You don't come back at one with the other. It's stupid.
That's an age-old battle because the parties are fighting over who gets to legally kill someone.
But it's stupid.
It is stupid, but it's important to the wrong kind of person.
It's stupid.
Because the thing is that, for example, a lot of people think, and it doesn't matter what party you are, a lot of people think that just because laws or conditions are a certain way in one area of the country, that's how it must be everywhere. They don't realize that it's vastly different. Like, people think that just because gun laws are laxed in, like, Texas or Georgia or somewhere in the South, that it must be laxed everywhere. They don't realize that in New York and Connecticut, we have some of the strictest gun laws in the entire country.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people think that just because abortion rights, for example, are so strict or lapsed in one part of the country, they think that's how it is everywhere. They don't realize how strict or lapsed it may be in another part of the country.
Now, here's the thing about that, is that, not that specifically, but just, you're talking about the idea of, like, state regulations, right? I am all for it. I personally, now, here's something that...
The states control both of those issues now.
Yes, they do. And here's why I'm okay with it. Is because, and this is the part that will probably shock most of the friends that I have made in the last 15 years. Up until the year 2020, year of our Lord, 2020, I was a registered Republican. Because, and only because, I detest government. Mm-hmm. I absolutely despise government interference. I've told you I can't even count how many occasions. I can't even tell you how many times have I said, I want the government to stay away from my money and keep off of my body.
And yet you married a government employee.
Well,
so
nobody's perfect, but I fucking hate the government. Nice. I absolutely hate it. And when it comes down to it, the reason why I got away from being affiliated with any party is because it's all about the party now. It's all about the tagline. It's all about the numbers and the money and how much this person is worth and how much money this person can raise and how many.
It's a business. And it's all about business
and
now.
I fucking hate it. The government, the federal government, in the last 10 years has done everything in its power to interfere in every aspect of American life.
Yep.
It's bullshit.
And working for the government has given me an insight into what things in the rest of the country must look like. Because I see it daily.
Yeah. It's just such bullshit.
Like,
and
people
I see it
about,
to an extent,
they complain
too.
about government bureaucracy. I'm exposed to it every single day.
Yeah. I, to an extent, am also. Because I operate under the Department of Consumer Protection. And I see how the legislature works with the taxes and everything like that. Like, I see that side of it.
Now, when you and I had that, when I was talking to you about listening to that Harris interview.
Yeah.
And I was giving my reasons why, and I was explaining what was going on and everything. Something that a lot of people, especially in our generation, and it holds true from what I told you, are willfully ignorant. I was willfully ignorant for a long time. I've never said this on podcast, but I've told you, I remember the day when politics really entered my life because this friend of mine that you can figure out who it is called me up one day, asked who I was voting for, and then that led into the longest argument that we've ever had. And I'm like, first of all, when did you get into politics?
And second of all, when did you decide it was any of your fucking business?
When did you decide it was okay to tell me who I should be voting for and why I should be voting for them?
It's just disgusting.
As if our interests are exactly the same. And they're not. Our interests are totally different. How I make my money is vastly different from how you make yours. How I live my life and parent my children and treat my spouse and get along with my coworkers. It's, we don't live the same life. We have some of the same interests, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are in no position to tell me to influence my voting decision.
Nobody is. Nobody is in that position.
But there are people who think that they are entitled to that because they think that they know more than we do.
Ugh.
You've told me before that people who disagree with me think that I'm stupid. They think that my opinions are stupid, that things I believe in are stupid, because I subscribe to a party. And the thing
it's your choice.
I may be a registered Republican, but I'm still going to vote for whoever I decide to vote for, which is why I take the time to research Harris and RFK and Trump and learn what I can in the time that I have, because I'm not going to make another blind decision, not at 36 years old.
And that is the most admirable thing that I think that anyone could do in this situation. I think it is remarkable that you are not only willing, but you are eager to understand what you're doing.
See, there are stereotypes that I just can't fucking stand, but they exist.
Yes.
And to ignore that they exist is just naive.
Yes.
It's typical of straight white males to go Republican because they like guns and they like guys with money and big business and this and that and the other thing. It's typical of white women to vote for Democrats because they care more about social issues than economic ones or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Those stereotypes do in fact exist.
Yes, they do. When I turned 18, and I remember because, we were all learning about politics and everything like that. And we were, all being told in school, that like when you turn 18, you're going to be able to register to vote and everything and understand what you're registering for and everything. And I remember when I told people that, like I registered Republican and they were just like, how could you do that? You're a woman.
Now, here's the most important...
I'm like, yes.
Here's the most important part of this conversation, and I hope everybody that's listening is paying attention.
Okay.
Regardless of who you vote for, and I'm not going to ask you on Election Day.
Me.
Yeah.
Me
regardless
personally.
of who you...
Not the royal you.
Who you,
Me.
my wife...
Yes.
Who you bubble in, I'm still going to love you.
Yeah.
I'm still going to think the sun shines out your ass.
Thank you.
And I'm going to feel the same way about my brothers, my father, my in-laws, my friends, I don't care. It's not worth fighting over. It's not worth arguing. It's not worth it.
Because it's nobody's business.
Now, I've said this before. I've got plenty of friends that just always vote Democrat. They instinctively, or, you know, I can't think of the word, but
just historically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't define our relationship. Okay? A lot of my musician friends go that way, but we bond over music. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let politics ruin friendships because we disagree on how people should run the country.
Which is human.
And I've said this to a lot of people, I told you, I'll learn to live with whoever gets in, because I find, it's like my therapist my therapist started telling me to start carrying around a coin, and anytime I think of something negative, to pull out the coin, flip it over, and then think of the opposite. So if you think of the negative, turn the coin over, think of the positive. Mm-hmm. And even with Biden in office the last 3.5 years, it hasn't been terrible. It's been bad for me.
It's been survivable.
It hasn't been great, but, you know, we're not in dire straits.
No.
And hopefully, regardless of who gets in, we'll bounce back. Will help us bounce back.
Yeah.
You know, it's not worth. It's just not worth it. You know, I firmly believe. I mean, I know my father's always voted Republican. I would have liked to think that my mother did too, but for all I know, she could have voted Democrat. My parents didn't, you know, hate each other. I do remember in 2016, though, they were urging me and who I was with at the time to go and to, you know, and
They were urging you?
Not me. I had already done it, but Henry and Oliver's mom.
They were urging her to vote or to vote?
To vote. Just to vote.
Just to vote in general.
And she was adamant about not going at all.
That's stupid.
Because she didn't want to vote for Trump or Clinton. And my parents kept pushing and pushing. I'm like, just leave her alone. Like, you know, You shouldn't be doing this. Like, I know it's...
I say it all the time. It's nobody's fucking business. It's nobody's business. And when, you know, people want to say, they're just like, oh, well, if you didn't, you know, if you abstain from voting, then, you know, you're essentially just, you know, handing the election to who you don't want to have it. And it's just like, honestly, I think that it's fine. Because I don't care.
But then you've got people bitching about the difference between the popular vote and the electoral college and get rid of this and get rid of that. And now they're talking about getting rid of the filibuster and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I don't understand at this point and what it's going to take to get people into those positions who have the best interests at heart of humanity.
That is the $64 million question, because I don't either.
Because my personal belief at this point is that everybody on both sides of the aisle and all involved in politics, all they care about is allocating the most resources for their constituents.
Yeah.
They don't care about the common everyday person.
Nope.
They care about what's going to line their pockets.
Yep.
What's going to secure their futures, the
Yep.
futures of their families and their
Yep.
friends and their close ones.
Yep.
And they don't, if people happen to come along for the ride, great. If not, well, what do I care?
Yep. You're right. And it's despicable.
Yeah. But that's where the willful ignorance comes back in,
absolutely
because
detestable.
We have allowed that. There's it's like Charlie Daniels used to say, there's a whole lot more of us than there ever will be of them.
Did Charlie Daniels say that?
He did. He did. He wrote a song about it.
Everyone seems to think these days that there's a right, there's a correct, and they refuse. Mm-hmm. Everyone refuses to own their double standard.
You know why? Because it goes back to that old world mentality of, if you even compromise in the slightest, or even entertain the idea of compromising, you're showing weakness.
Yep. And everyone thinks at this point that, like, I'm not mad, but I'm I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Okay? I'm disappointed, America. Because this whole idea that we now are forced to live under the thumb of, this idea that you cannot do or say or think or believe or feel something that offends or bothers or upsets someone else is purely, unadulteratedly un-American. You cannot preach freedom, pure freedom. All of those amendments in the Bill of Rights and everything, all of those personal freedoms that everybody is like, we want this, and everyone on both sides of this argument want the same things for different reasons. But heaven forbid you accept the fact that the other side believes it too. They just believe it a different way. So we have to cancel people. We have to cancel ideas. We have to change things. We have to take TV shows off the air. We have to, we can't sell these DVDs. We can't show these music videos because someone, somewhere, one time, thought something that bothered somebody. What? What the fuck? Like, it is absolutely obscene to me that we are willing to sacrifice one freedom for another. We're willing to say our freedom is more important than yours. That is horrible. It's so disgusting to me. Yeah. Everyone is entitled to it, regardless of what the end game is. Everyone's fucking entitled to all of those freedoms. Now, I have said to you, I say on countless occasions, you can choose to do something that might be troublesome. You can choose to go out with a megaphone and say some of the tasteless garbage that you can spew at a crowd of people. Nowhere should a person be permitted to stop you. But be prepared for whatever comes your way. No one should be silenced just because of consequences.
I remember it was about 12 years ago.
That's some George Orwell shit.
12 years ago is when I remember I would watch all of Piers Morgan's interviews.
Yeah.
Because
he speaks so well.
Jokingly at the time, I would say I'd like to watch conservatives go on there and tear him a new one. I used to watch when Ted Nugent would go on there, and then Jesse Ventura. But Jesse Ventura said something interesting when he went on in 2012. He said, if I could get on the debate stage, I'd win. Just let me on that debate. Just put me on the ballot, and I'd win, because he had the confidence in himself to debate anybody up there.
Do you think it's also because he's an actor?
Probably has something to do with it. But he also said something that stuck with me. He goes, if you always tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory.
I mean, he's not wrong. No lie detected.
Now, that's what drew me. That, in your opinion, drew me to RFK, because compared to Trump and Harris, he's very well spoken. He's historically Democratic, and what does he do when he can't get on the Democratic ticket? Goes independent. Can't win independent, backs Trump. Oh my God, a historic Kennedy is backing a Republican who used to be a Democrat. Oh my God, what twilight zone are we living in now? But what drew me to, what got me to start paying attention was your talk of him backing the funding of chronic disease research, which Harris and Trump and everybody before them hasn't really talked about.
And his sound reasoning for the cause of so many issues that we have, particularly with our national health.
Listen to the way he talks. He wasn't born that way.
I admire the man to no end. I just do. And it has nothing to do with his family, and it has nothing to do with, a feeling of dislike for any other politicians, parties, or people. I just admire the man. I like listening to him speak. He makes me feel hopeful.
I still don't 100% know that I could trust him because I don't know what he would do if given that position. But again, he is very well but then anytime I brought up his name in front of anybody, historical Democrat, oh, he's a crazy man. He's this, he's that, he's the other thing. And of course I had to tear him down because he's not the Democratic Party's horse. Mm-hmm. He's not, and he never would be.
Because he's not a puppet.
Exactly. He said that Harris wouldn't even take a call or a meeting from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what is that? That's got to say something.
He makes me feel hopeful. He has. From the first time I heard him speak, he just makes me feel hopeful. He makes me feel seen as a person.
But I also said to you at one point, I go, if he gets in there, if he gets anywhere close, he's a marked man.
I know.
It's not out of the realm. It's not ridiculous to say because look at what has happened to his family. Mm-hmm. And if it happened to his family and it is likely to happen to him, there's a reason for it. Because someone like that stands in the way of people who wish to do wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue that we're not combating. You have people, unnamed, hidden people who would take out someone who wishes to do good just because it conflicts with their interest.
Yep. And it does shatter me to think. And I don't staunchly back any horse because I am open to so much. But it does shatter me to think that he won't have the opportunity necessarily to do the good that he could do.
I have been so disgusted since 2016 because I remember then when people were saying we're voting for the lesser of two evils.
Ugh.
We're voting for the lesser of two evils. We're voting for the lesser of two evils. Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
We get to 2020, and it's not voting for the lesser of two evils. It's voting for Biden, even though we don't like him as the candidate. He's not Trump. And any vote for anybody other than Biden is a vote for Trump. And that was even dumber to hear than what I heard in 2016.
Yep.
And I stand by what I said to those people. It's that you have other choices. Mm-hmm. There are always other choices, but the willfully ignorant didn't take the time to research the other choices. They didn't take the time to acknowledge the third-party candidates.
They did at the same time, but they didn't have the faith in... They didn't have the faith in the vote.
I don't think they even did. I don't even think that they took the time to learn. They couldn't even name who they were.
Well, I mean, did you hear Tulsi Gabbard speak
We
at all?
have not had a non-Republican, non-Democratic president since George Washington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he was a Federalist, wasn't he?
And Jesse Ventura said that these parties are like gangs.
Yes.
They're gangs.
Yes.
Now, again, I'm not opposed to a Democrat, Republican, third party, whatever. As long as the people that are charged with this country's prosperity do just that. For the most good for the most people.
Don't be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was the best conversation. Because I still love you.
I love you.
And come election day, I'm still going to love you. And come January 20th, I'm still going to love you.
I know it.
And
I don't doubt it.
Those of you listening should still love each other.
This is how you have a civil discourse. Mm-hmm. This is how you have a civil disagreement. And you and I do not necessarily disagree on a lot of things. We see the validity in each other's perspective. Mm-hmm. And that is to be a true American.
That's the way it is.
That's the way it is. I feel close to you. I feel closer to you now than I did before.
And I'm glad that this came out the way that it did.
Yeah.
And we didn't tear each other's heads off.
And we didn't tear the heads off of anybody.
And I honestly can't wait to hear what our listeners have to tell us about this one.
It will be interesting. I don't know about you, But
I'm not feeling 22.
I do wonder if we need to hold on to our butts because
Taylor Swift is a moron.
What does Taylor Swift have to do with that?
She's another one of those people who, you know, her opinion is just because. It's not, you know.
I don't know enough about Taylor Swift to partake.
You know, I'd like to know what my nieces think because they love Taylor Swift.
And you think she's an idiot?
They're too young for politics.
I hope so.
Listen, if you're going to, it's just like what we just got done talking about. If your vote is going to be cast because that person is not somebody else, or because of some frivolous reason, then you don't deserve to vote.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
I refuse to be willfully ignorant anymore.
Good for you.
And I hope that people, you know.
I hope it trickles down.
Yeah.
I do. I absolutely do. And thank you for being able to have a conversation like this without being an a-hole.
I'm also at the point now where I can say that to my kids. Where I can say that to them. And I told, because I'll never forget, Election Day 2016, Oliver was, I think, 7. And he says to me, my teacher says that Donald Trump is a bad man.
Which is just,
that
says to me is bad teacher.
And I'm like, why would your teacher even be talking to you about that?
Exactly. That's not what you learn in first grade.
And so the last time he and I had a discussion of this sort, I said to him the same thing I said to you. Your decision is yours to make. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to love you no matter what. And I mean that.
I know you do. I know you do.
Because another 3 years, he's going to be able to. So the 2028 election he's going to be able to vote.
That one's his. Mm-hmm. That one's his. Well, we'll see what happens, won't we? We'll come back for the reprise of this in November. We'll see what happens after the election. And thank you out there in podcast land for being a part of this, for listening to us and demonstrate just what it's like to get along with each other despite differences.
I'm going to go get a beer.
Okay.
You want to tell them about the tattoo convention?
Yeah. We're doing the New York Blood and Ink Convention in November 15th, 16th, and 17th in White Plains, New York. It's going to be a good time.
It certainly will.
It's going to be a real fun time. The guest list is getting longer and longer. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But you'll find us right in front of the main stage on the main floor. So come by and buy my shit. And then find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's. And thanks, Andy, for the theme song.
Thanks for being my wife.
You're welcome. I mean, you asked me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our anniversary's coming up.
It is coming up. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait for you to...
Not our wedding anniversary, our dating anniversary.
Yeah.
We celebrate all the shit.
This is our anniversary. Yeah. We have a wedding. We have an anniversary of the day we got married, but this is the day we started spending forever
They know
together.
this already. We did the episode. The wedding episode was the one where we were on our way to the wedding. We told them our life story.
Well, you wait, because our anniversary is on a Tuesday, so we are going to have to do, obviously, an anniversary podcast. God damn it. So everybody out there, hold on to your butts. And that's it. From the 3 of us here at the Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Jimmy Jr. Hold on to my butt.
Hold on to his butt, and we'll see you. We'll talk to you later. Talk to you later.